When you picture Mars, you probably think of a cold, red desert. And you'd be right, but what if I told you it wasn't always like that? Billions of years ago, Mars was warm, it was wet, it had a thick atmosphere. It was actually a lot like a young Earth. So, what happened? Something went terribly wrong. A planet died. And today, we're going to investigate this cosmic cold case.
Right. That's the big question, isn't it? What killed Mars? And look, this isn't just some abstract academic puzzle. This is a detective story, billions of years in the making. We have our victim, a crime scene, even a prime suspect. And the answer has some pretty huge implications for our own future on the Red Planet.
So here it is, the crime scene. On the left, you've got the Mars that could have been. A world with rivers, lakes, maybe even vast oceans under a thick protective atmosphere. And on the right, that's the Mars we know today, a frozen, radiated wasteland. The key difference between these two worlds? Its atmosphere. It was stolen. Okay, time to meet our prime suspect, the solar wind. Now don't let the name fool you. This is no gentle breeze. We're talking about a constant, high-energy blast of particles screaming away from the sun at over 1 million miles per hour. For billions of years, it has been relentlessly sandblasting the entire inner solar system. So you're probably thinking, okay, if this solar wind is so bad, why isn't Earth a barren desert too? And that's a great question. The answer is our planet has a powerful magnetic field. It acts like a giant invisible shield, deflecting the worst of that solar assault. Mars, on the other hand, well, it lost its global magnetic field a long, long time ago. Its atmosphere was left exposed, vulnerable, a complete sitting duck. And that brings us to the heist itself. See, this wasn't some quick smash and grab job. This was a slow, methodical theft of an entire planet's atmosphere, carried out over billions of years, particle by tiny particle. And understanding exactly how it happened is about a lot more than just planetary science. Just listen to what Nikki Fox from NASA says here. This is all about protecting the people we're going to send there. That thin little atmosphere that's left is all that stands between an astronaut and some seriously harsh space radiation. So the key takeaway is this. By solving this ancient mystery, we're actually figuring out how to keep the first humans on Mars safe. So to crack a case this cold, you're going to need some pretty advanced detectives, and that's exactly what NASA is sending, a pair of them. Everyone meet the ESCAPADE mission, and here's the really brilliant part. Instead of just one spacecraft, they're sending 2. This is a first, and it gives us what scientists call a stereo perspective. So one spacecraft can watch what the solar wind is doing, the cause, while the other spacecraft simultaneously sees how Mars's atmosphere reacts, the effect. It connects the dots in near real time. Now, the strategy here is just incredibly clever. They have this 2-phase approach. First, the spacecraft will fly in what's called a string of pearls formation, basically one right after the other. This lets them see how the atmosphere changes from one minute to the next. Then they'll shift into that wider stereo formation to really lock down that clear cause and effect relationship. It's an amazing way to get the whole picture. And one of the key things they're looking at is the ionosphere. For any future astronaut on Mars, this is absolutely vital. The ionosphere is what you're going to use to bounce radio signals and GPS data around the planet. You can literally think of it as Mars's natural Wi-Fi router. So understanding how space weather messes with it is crucial for basic things like communication and navigation. Now, getting these twin detectives all the way to Mars isn't as simple as just pointing a rocket in the right direction and hitting go. This mission is pioneering a whole new and, frankly, much more elegant way of doing interplanetary travel. You see, usually, getting to Mars is this really frantic, direct dash. You have to launch during this really brief window that only opens up every 2 years. ESCAPADE, though, is taking a more patient, more civilized route, and it might just be a total game changer for space travel. So here's the plan. First, the spacecraft are going to head out to a place in space called a Lagrange point. The easiest way to think of this is a gravitational parking spot. No, really, it's a stable point where the gravitational pull of the Earth and the Sun balance each other out perfectly. It allows the spacecraft to just loiter there without burning much fuel at all. So just look at this itinerary. The spacecraft launch, and then they spend about a year just chilling out in that cosmic parking spot. Then, once the planets are all perfectly aligned, they swing back around, use Earth's gravity as a massive slingshot, and fling themselves towards Mars. It's a longer trip, but it's remarkably efficient. And this is where it gets truly groundbreaking. This whole loiter and launch idea could completely revolutionize how we get to Mars. Instead of being slaves to that stressful 2-year launch window, future missions, whether it's cargo or even crew, could just launch whenever they're ready, park themselves in space, and then make the jump to Mars when the timing is perfect. But the innovation here isn't just about the science or the orbital mechanics. The rocket that actually got ESCAPADE off the ground, well, that's a huge story all by itself. Right. This launch wasn't just another day at the office for NASA. The rocket that sent these spacecraft on their amazing journey marked a major shift for the entire commercial space industry. For years, if you wanted to launch something really big, the heavy lift market was pretty much dominated by SpaceX. But this mission, ESCAPADE, launched aboard Blue Origin's brand new rocket, the New Glenn. And as Thomas Black from Bloomberg put it, its success provided some much-needed competition. The real star of the show was seeing that reusable first-stage booster come back and make a picture-perfect landing on a ship out in the ocean. It proves there's another major player that's capable of reliable, reusable rocketry. And for the entire space industry, that kind of competition is what drives innovation, it brings down costs, and ultimately, it makes more amazing science missions like this one possible. So in the end, ESCAPADE is doing two incredible things at once. It's looking back billions of years into the past to understand how a planet can die, while at the very same time, it's paving the way for a future where humans might just live there. Solving the mystery of what happened to Mars is a monumental task, but it leaves us with an even bigger question. What are we going to write in its future?
Thanks for watching. Before your Wi-Fi drops, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Stay sharp, stay curious, and keep guarding the trends.